Honey, don't walk out, I'm too drunk to follow. You know you won't feel this way tomorrow. Well, I'm a little rough around the edges and inside a little hollow. And I'm faced with something sometimes that are so hard to swallow. Hey, but I was born a rebel down in Beauty on a Tuesday morning. Of 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot's on the pedal. I was born a rebel. I was born a rebel. She picked me up in the morning and she paid on my tickets and screamed in the car and left me out in the thicket. Well, I never would have dreamed that her heart was so wicked. I keep coming back 'cause it's so hard to kick it. Hey, 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 and I was born a rebel down in Dixie on a Sunday morning. Of 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot's on the pedal. I was born a rebel. I was born a rebel. Even before my father's father, well, they called us all rebels. They burn out our crops and they leveled our town. Well, I still feel the eyes of those red-coated devils, and I'm walking around tonight through the concrete and metal. Hey, 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 'cause I was born a rebel up in Beauty on a Tuesday morning. Of 1 foot in the grave, of 1 foot on the pedal. I was born a rebel. I was born a rebel. Hey, 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 I was born a rebel. I was born a rebel. I was born a rebel.
If there be but 100 of us remain alive, never shall we, under any condition, be brought under anybody's idea of a new world order. It is, in truth, not for honor, nor for glory, certainly not for riches that we are fighting, but for freedom. That one thing alone which no honest person would give up save with life itself. Once we were warrior poets. For now, we must stand for peace. Well, here we are then, folks. It is now the 4th of March, 2026. We are 5 days into, 5 full days, thank you, Stephen, into this US-Israeli attack on Iran. And I was very deliberate in what I titled tonight's show. Lions, those lions being the Iranians, paper tigers, which are proven to be Israel and the United States, and 2 bears, Russia and China. I would hope by now you know to ignore both the oh well, both the mainstream media and the liars who are paid promoters of genocide. There are many shills. Tommy fucking Robinson is on Alex Jones tonight. Except he's not really Tommy Robinson, he's Stephen Yaxley Lennon, Mossad agent, small time grifter. Oh well, where do I start? Okay. As of today, at least 650 US troops have been killed by Iranian missiles and drones. Yes, 600, not six, as Trump says, 650. That's all right if you're looking for work in and around the Dover Air Force Base in the United States, who are urgently looking to hire people who will go through fallen soldiers' possessions. Mhm. But it's all okay, because from Donald Trump to Pete Hegseth to the commanding officers, they are telling the troops underneath them that what they're fighting is a holy war. Alex said it last night. Who can believe that in the year of our Lord 2026, we would be in the midst of a holy war? Because these American so-called Christian Zionists, the two, by the way, are mutually exclusive, just to say, are being told that Trump is anointed by God and the war they have started in Iran will bring about Armageddon and the second coming of Christ. And I'm not making this up. I wish I was. I've said many times now, as a bona fide fucking expert on eschatology, end times events as it's related in the Bible, I do not believe that this is the end of the world biblically, but I do believe the hidden hand, the Fourth Reich, the Zionists are trying to make it seem as if this is the end of the world. One of the spiritual leaders who advises Trump just gave a sermon saying that this war, Iran has not hit Turkey, Patricia. That this war will drag Russia and Turkey into invading Israel. What he's talking about is Ezekiel 38 and 39, the so-called invasion of Gog and Magog, which is a precursor for the final battle of Armageddon. Careful when you wish for an apocalypse, because you might just get one. There is so much misinformation and disinformation and propaganda and AI out there at the moment It's very hard to keep a finger on the pulse of what's really going fucking on, but I'm going to do my best for you, okay? The plan was very simple. Well, it had to be because it came from fucking Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and Benjamin fucking Netanyahu. If they could have a quick decapitation strike on the Iranian political, religious, and military leadership, then they believed that the people in Iran would rise up onto the streets and overthrow the mullahs and overthrow the Islamic Republic. And then, of course, they could conveniently put their own little puppet stooge in, which won't be, sadly, Pereshki, the son of the deposed Shah, who hasn't been in Iran since he was 4, whose family stole a lot of the wealth from Iran and lived a high life all over Europe, Monaco and Paris and wherever else, London. It won't be him. Certainly won't be him because he's just been pranked by Vovis and Alexei, the 2 Russian pranksters, who phoned them and pretended to be top EU officials. Well, Trump had already said nobody likes him in Iran, and that's true. But nobody is going to put up with him after what he told Bovis and Alexis, which was that when he was installed as the new president or Shah, whatever they wanted to call him, then he would happily allow Europe and the US to divvy up Iran's oil and gas wealth between them. America and Israel were going to come in. Blitzkrieg, Fourth fucking Reich style. Decapitate. Iran would be free. Dun, 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 dun. Except it didn't work, as I said on Sunday. They only managed to murder an 86-year-old man who was ready to be martyred. He was partially disabled. And his family. He didn't hide in a bomb shelter like Belinsky in Ukraine, who's hanging out in his bomb shelter. It won't do you any good, mate. If Russia decides to send a Kinzhal or a Narezhnik down your chimney, it's game fucking over. And that, by the way, my friend, is coming closer by the minute. You can almost hear the clock in the background tick away. Your regime, your Nazi little fucking country, and possibly your life. Nor was he like the genocidal maniac Benjamin Netanyahu is quite happy to send your sons and daughters to die in a foreign field, while his son and wife are living at large in Miami. But that's all right, because he's currently there to meet Donald Trump at fucking Mar-a-Lago. That's going to be an interesting conversation. I wonder how quickly the subject of nuclear weapons will take. My guess, not very long. Everybody knew. All Iran has to do is survive. That's it. But Iran is more than surviving. Iran has started to turn the tide of this war already. To my knowledge, excess, Rubio, fuckwits that know no better, speak about the US Israel having air supremacy over Iran. That it can fly anywhere, bomb anything it likes. That's not true. Long range missiles may be raining down on schools and hospitals. I'll come to that in a second. In Tehran and other Iranian cities, but none of them are being fired from inside Iranian airspace. All that is falling on Iran currently is long range Tomahawk missiles and long range cruise missiles. And even then, at last count, Israel and the US had lost 6 fighter jets. Of course, Iran is taking a beating, but it's prepared itself for this. Once the decapitation had failed, the US and Israel switched to its secondary target list, and they've ended up bombing empty IRGC barracks, empty headquarters, empty buildings for 88 clerics were supposed to be meeting because they don't have great ground intel at the moment. And having seen that that's done no good. Oh, and the other thing they were bombing, very precisely, very fucking accurately, 3D drawings of fighter jets on the ground. On the ground. And that's failed too. None of that has stopped Iran from being able to fire drones and missiles at will. So they switched tactics the way they did in the Serbian air campaign. Make no mistake that what Israel and the US is currently doing is nothing more, nothing less than a terror campaign from the sky. They are deliberately targeting civilians. They are deliberately targeting schools. They are deliberately targeting hospitals. And they are deliberately targeting police stations. Because they still hope, opiate, that's all these people ever fucking have. They still hope that they can color revolution Iran by inserting forces, and I'll come to that, and agents, provocateur. But that's not what's happening on the ground. On the ground, by their hundreds and thousands, the Iranian people are coming out to rally in support of their government and their fallen supreme leader. And they're refusing to disperse even as the bombs are falling on their heads. And of course, we're doing the double tap thing, where they hit a target, wait 20 minutes, long enough for first responders to get there, fire and rescue ambulance crews, and then they hit again. And of course, but I'll come to this later again, because everything I'm telling you has wider and wider implications. Trump claims to have sunk a lot of the Iranian Navy. True. They just sunk the Iranian ship, the Daria, off the coast of India. Why was an Iranian frigate off the coast of India? Because the Indians had invited it there to do naval exercise. The Indians paraded these sailors before stabbing them in the back. The submarine came from Diego Garcia. No wonder the Mauritians are asking for the immediate handing over of the Chagos Island, including Garcia, and have openly come out in support of Iran. But Iran is rolling with the punches, and Iran is punching back hard. Hard. Today, Elon Musk's X and a number of other Western social media platforms began actively to cancel subscriptions from Iranians who were and Israelis who were showing video of the destruction. The interceptor missiles needed for the Iron Dome, needed to protect US military bases, needed to protect US shipping. Partly, mostly, due to keeping Israel in a constant supply and the last 4 years of keeping the Coke King in Kiev supplied, all to no avail, has massively depleted their stocks. Gulf states have just found out that despite their years of abeyance to the US empire, despite their years of fear of the US empire, now that push has come to shove, the US is not willing to protect Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, none of them. It's only interested in trying to defend Israel. The Gulf states have less than 3 days of any interceptor missiles left. Iran has systematically now, I take a little list somewhere. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. Iran has systematically been taking out the radar systems in the main US bases in the Middle East. In Abu Dhabi, the Jordan, I'm going to kill this name, Mawahi Sulati Air Base, and the huge multi-billion-dollar installation of Space Force of the ANFPS 132 at Al Vidal. That means Iran is getting close to being able to hit anywhere in the Middle East it likes with impunity. All 27, all 27 American bases in the Middle East have been struck. As we speak, Israel, and for all I know, America, has sabotaged Iraq's electrical grid. That's not stopping Iraqi militants from pounding both the US airbase at Baghdad airport and in Erbil to smithereens. The Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain has been blown to hell and back, including the ships that were stationed there. All 27 bases, including the largest airbase, Khartoum Al Abia in the UAE, they've all been struck. And now the Americans are bugging out. And they're bugging out because somehow, some way, I wonder why I'm about to tell you. CIA headquarters in Saudi Arabia has been hit and destroyed. The hotels that were housing Marines in Abu Dhabi were hit and destroyed. The hotels housing Mossad in Dubai were hit and destroyed. Over the last 4 years of the Ukrainian war, America, Britain, and the collective West has not only been arming Ukraine, but it's been giving them the IRS, the reconnaissance and satellite intelligence, which has been needed to hit the Russian bases that have been hit. Well, China gave Iran its Beidou. That's its GPS. And China and Russia, between them, have nearly as many military satellites as the United States. And they're very, very capable. And they are giving Iran real-time data. So, America, where it can, is bugging out of the Middle East. They are desperate. That's why they're now talking about ground offensives. And they're also desperate to pull in as many others into this war as they can. The lack of interceptor missiles, huge problem, which is why local commanders are being told to pick their targets and ration, which is why even the older Iranian drones and missiles, which were designed to be shot down, are getting through and hitting their targets. Hezbollah is the ones striking RAF Akatori. Nobody is trying to hit Turkey at the moment. The US put out a false claim that Iran had targeted Turkey. Turks went, no, they didn't, mate. It was a missile designed for Cyprus. You knocked it off course. But Israel, just telling you as it is, has been launching false flag operations aimed at the oil infrastructure in the region. Iran is saying, we're not doing it. But it's designed to get Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, whatever, all of these little bitty nothings of little Gulf monarchies put into place by the Brits so we could control the oil. They're all even worse paper tigers than America and Israel. Saudi, backed by the US, backed by Israel, fought against Yemen and the Ansar Allah since 2014. And Yemen has kicked their fucking arses. Yemen's kicked the UAE's arse. Saudi wouldn't last 2 minutes up against Iran. Iran has got a mosaic command structure now. They designed it for this very purpose because they knew Israel and the US would go for decapitation strikes. And that means local commanders of local missile cities, and they have God knows how many hundreds of these underground missile cities. The local commanders have autonomy to fire at will. They've been given pre-selected targets. The Iraqis are reaching out and they are hitting US warships. The Abe Lincoln and its entire battle group has had to retreat deeper into the Indian Ocean. It's reportedly going to have to limp for home. Iran hit it with 4 ballistic missiles. Now, if it could hit it with 4 ballistic missiles, it could easily have hit it with a hypersonic. And if it had hit with a hypersonic, the Oompa Loompa would have his Pearl Harbor. 5,000 brave young men and women of the US Navy in Davy Jones's locker. But China and the Kremlin told Iran, don't sink it. You don't have to. All you have to do is damage that flight deck. And then it's a nothing burger. It can't take off or land aircraft. That's exactly what Iran did. But Iran's also reached out and touched a couple of US Navy destroyers. Iran shut the Straits of Hormuz. Stock markets globally are plummeting. South Korea, 60% of its oil needs come from the Gulf states. Japan, half of its oil needs come from the Gulf states. China, about 40%, but that's okay because China was wise enough to stockpile. Plus, it can get all it wants from Russia. The price of Brent is pretty close to $100 a barrel. For those of you living in the United Kingdom who listened to Rachel from accounts telling you how everything was fucking wonderful and how she had a plan and how it was all going to plan, and she had, look, I've got fucking hundreds of stats here and fucking sheets of paper that mean fuck all, because it was all based upon Brent being at $70 a barrel or lower. For the slow at the back of the room, let me spell it fucking out. When I filled my petrol cans and my car first thing Monday morning, diesel was at £1.41 per litre. As I passed the garage this evening, that's now at £1.54 per litre. It's over €2 a litre in Europe. That means Brent crude, Jackie. That means it's a standard for oil from the North Sea. That means that literally, the price of everything is about to skyrocket. Because your food that you go to the supermarket to get, oh, that's going to cost more to get there. Ain't going to be the supermarket that's going to pay that issue. Capiche? Combined with the stock market crashes and the banking failures, the economy of the world is in the fucking toilet. Gas, well, that's a whole different kettle of fucking fish. Europe And the UK, in its holy quest to get away from that awful, cheap, reliable Russian fucking gas, which powered the German industry and a comfortable way of living in Western Europe, well, that's up by 100% as we speak. And of course, von der Crazy and their little band of fucking dwarves like Starmer and Macron and Merz, they all have said that they plan not to have any Russian gas by 2027. But quietly, they're fucking taking as much as they can. Except the Nazi Ukrainian retards, aided and abetted by the UK, of course, blew up a Russian LNG tanker in the Mediterranean, not that far from fucking Malta. Ukraine doesn't have the technology or the fucking wit to build naval drones. It's one of the few things Britain is still okay at. Putin turned round a little while ago, a couple of hours, and he said, Europe wants to be free of Russian gas by next year. Well, there are plenty of countries in the world that want our gas. So I'm going to ask the Duma whether right now we should just unilaterally decide to stop sending any gas to Europe. That would be interesting. That would leave Europe with only two, because Russia's also warning Turkey that the crazy Nazi Ukrainians are about to blow up Turk Stream, maybe even Blue Stream. The only natural gas available in Europe very shortly will come from the very limited Norwegian fields and the insanely expensive LNG imported from Americano, assuming they can cross the seas unmolested. And at this point, it might not be that far off when that's not the fucking case. But here's the real kicker in the balls. One, America is going to prioritize its own needs. Two, America doesn't have that much natural gas to supply. That's going to be a problem then. That little fucking decrease in the price cap the Ed crazy ass Miliband announced. Here's a little secret. If the price is going down, it'll be Ed Miliband or Starmer that will tell you. Maybe Rachel from accounts. When it's going up, they'll send the wall up from Ofgem, just so you know who to blame. The craziness is, of course, that here in Scotland we closed down our only refinery in Grangemouth. We've taken the green agenda completely on board, whilst we sit in fucking oceans of crude oil and natural gas off the west coast here. Arguably the largest deposit of natural gas on the fucking planet. Why then, Ian, isn't there rigs out there tapping it, pumping it to Scotland and the rest of the UK for peanuts, you ask? Because of Trident submarines in the base of Faslane, I answer. If you think we've been through a cost of living crisis, what's coming is going to make the Great Depression look like a baby's toy. And it's not just oil and gas, it's food and it's water. All of these Gulf states rely on importing food and water. All of it goes through the Straits of Hormuz. Now, Trump said, we are going to ensure freedom of navigation. We'll use naval vessels if necessary. Tell that to the 10 burning tankers who didn't listen to the Iranians when they said, you ain't coming through. Oh, Iran is letting through ships from China, ships from Russia. The US Navy immediately said to Trump, ain't happening, brother, unless you deliberately want to sink every US naval ship you put into those straits, because they are honeycombed with caves and bases, all of which are bristling with anti-shipping missiles. I'll come to Ukraine. The other thing Putin did today, by the way, he signed a presidential decree to enlarge the Russian army, which is already very big, to 2.4 million. 1.5 million of which will be war fighters. The British military has about 70,000-80,000 all in, of about 30 to 40,000 war fighters, if it comes to it. America, who is spending trillions on defense and getting fuck all from it. The Pentagon is just about to ask Congress for another 50 billion for this debacle, because you're spending billions every night on overpriced missiles. Yeah, America's war fighters may add up to 150,000 if you throw in Marines, Delta Force, Rangers, et al. Yeah, that's right. The Lloyd's of London are not insuring any ships attempting to go through the Straits of Hormuz. Trump said, that's all right, America will do it. Right, good luck with that. Good luck with that one. So, the Gulf states are in quite a bit of a pickle. They allowed America to have bases there before they're getting hit. Some good news. I like good news. Next year, it will be cheaper to fly Emirates than it will be to fly fucking Ryanair. And a fortnight all inclusive in Dubai or Abu Dhabi will be probably cheaper than a wet weekend in fucking Blackpool. I'm just saying. Hey, you might have to put up with some reconstruction. But life is over for the Gulf states. The Abu Dhabis and the Dubais, they're gone. They're no. The rich people ain't going back to be bombed. They also have another problem. The family dictatorships that we put in place, that America keeps in place, well, they're mostly Sunni, and they use only Sunni forces to protect them, along with foreign mercenaries. They either use slave labor from India, Sri Lanka, et al., or they're indigenous Shia populations. Some of those countries have an awful lot of Shia and not very many Sunnis. Saudi Arabia. But the one in biggest trouble right now is Bahrain, where the US had, that's past tense, its command of the Fifth Fleet. That's now gone. There is no Fifth Fleet anymore. And that emir, well, the people of Bahrain cheered as Iranian missiles slammed into the US ships docked there. Here's another problem the US has. The design of their missile destroyers, cruisers, et al. Use the same sort of launch tubes as Trident submarines, straight up. That means they can't be reloaded at sea, they have to go to port. Except the ports that they would go to in the Gulf, well, they can't go there. Diego Garcia is a week away, steaming. So that's a week to go to get reloaded, a week to come back. So they're using India, the backstabber. Whose harbors aren't designed for it. Got to get through a whole lot very quickly. Bahrain is likely to fall. Saudi is sending troops in to try and boost up the regime. Not going to happen. America wanted regime change. Looks like it's going to get it in spades. You wouldn't want to be the emirate in Kuwait or Bahrain or the Sauds in Saudi Arabia. Oh, unless. Now, Turkey and Pakistan especially, because I need to talk about the bigger countries in a second, sent aircraft to help Saudi. Whilst it's true that Netanyahu probably has compromat on MBS, MBS doesn't necessarily become the next king of Saudi. The current king's still alive. He might just rally out of his fucking ill bed long enough to do certain things. Or one of MBS's brothers might just depose him, or his uncles. Because I think the Sauds, Susan, is escalating constantly. The Sauds are starting to understand that Israel and America are paper tigers. When they run out of precision munitions, as they will very shortly, they're going to have to try gravity bombs, because that's what Trump's on about when he says, we've got ammunition to fight forever. What he means is, old style, £2,000 gravity bombs going back to World War fucking II. That means that bombers and fighters are going to have to fly into Iranian airspace. Oh, maybe then we'll see Iranian air defenses. Never mind 6, there could be 60 or more fighters and bombers shot down. Those B-2s that just landed at Lake Nathan, bon chance, mes amis, bon chance. Of course, Lithuania has told Trump he's willing to fight. Lithuania is willing to fight with America. I think they've got 2 soldiers ready to go. They know already they need to try and open the Straits of Hormuz, which means they need a ground invasion. There aren't enough Western troops. It will take at least 6 months for them to start to mobilize, for them to start to send out the conscription notices. In the meantime, they're going to try and make do. They're going to try and use the Kurds to invade Iran. They're going to use ISIS and Al Qaeda, their creations, to try and invade Iran. They might try and use the head chopper Jolani. They're definitely going to try and use Azerbaijan. Problem. And the Azeri do have a large population in northern Iran that they hope will rise up to fight for them if they invade. And Russia is likely to come in at your back and wipe you off the fucking map. Capiche? But all these forces need to last for at least 6 months to get your sons and daughters into uniform and trained enough to go and die trying to take Iran. The bigger countries, Pakistan, Well, India. We know India is a turncoat. Not the Indian people, funnily enough. The Indian people are likely to throw off Modi before long. They see him as a traitor. But India, ostensibly a member of the BRICS, well, we'll see. Pakistan seems mixed signals, but it's not really. Turns out what Pakistan attacked in Afghanistan was a Mossad Israeli drone factory. Oh, and what have the diplomatic communiques between Pakistan and Saudi and Iran been saying? Remember, we have a mutual defense pact. I don't think it would take very much for Pakistan and Saudi Arabia to come in on Iran's side. Turkey, well, it knows that Israel is already named as the next target once Iran falls. That's a problem. Biggest army in NATO sized problem. Now, you can't trust the Turks, and you certainly can't trust the Sultan, but you can trust this. They hate the fucking Kurds more than any cunt on the planet, and they see the Kurds as an existential threat. So if America or Israel thinks that it can promise the Kurds Kurdistan, the mythical Kurdistan before Sykes-Picot, in exchange for fighting against Iran, let me clue you in, because this is my era. From 1980 to 1990, the West supplied, trained a country called Iraq to fight a proxy war against Iran for us. And we gave Iraq fucking everything up to and including chemical fucking weapons. They invaded and killed hundreds of thousands of Iranians, and over a decade, they could not make a dent. Not a dent. Problem is, of course, the longer this goes on, the more Israel especially gets pummeled, and it's getting fucking hammered. The more likely Israel or the US is to use a tactical fucking nuke. Sweden wants nukes, Germany wants nukes. Korea says it could have nukes in 3 weeks. Japan says it can have them in 2. France is willing to spread its nuclear umbrella as thin as it can. To any country that wants it, basically. Yes, Alex, Tel Aviv is looking like Gaza now, and it's going to get a lot worse. And of course, they're trying to drag Europe. Spain's had enough. Germany is licking Trump's balls. If I was German watching Merz, I would be fucking sickened. Celebi. Cyprus doesn't want Britain to have air bases there. That's why Hezbollah is targeting them. Now we're sending one bucket ship. But it's not leaving for at least a week. Greece has sent 2 frigates. And the glorious heroes of the RAF are trying to shoot Iranian drones out of the sky. You can bet your bottom fucking dollar Trump will try and get the Europeans to join America and Israel in a coalition of the willing type invasion. Problem is, when China and Russia have IRS every troop ship, every troop plane, every build-up of troops will be seen and will be targeted. Britain's just admitted to having more troops in Ukraine, and the Russians have said, well, they're legitimate targets, get the body bags fucking ready. And Ukraine is fucked 6 ways from Sunday. Just to mention. The US is also taking its toys back from Korea and Taiwan. The THAADs and Patriot systems. North Korea is watching on. China's watching on. You're all right, sir. You see, China knows that it will reunify with Taiwan without any bloodshed. And China is telling Kim Jong-un, chill. The plan is a reunification of the Korean Peninsula without bloodshed. US is losing this war. It's going to lose this war. Trump's already lost the House. 15 senators have been primaried and lost. That means they're lame ducks. That means they can now vote with their conscience. That means that tonight, when Thomas Massey introduces a bill to prevent Trump from any further strikes on Iran, it might just pass, and maybe, just maybe, that will save the United States from the biggest humiliation that's seen in over a century. But I wouldn't hold my breath. Starmer? How is Starmer still Prime Minister? Just today, one of his Scottish MPs, a Joni Pearls, is it? Fuck knows. Can't read my own writing. A non-entity, but a Scottish Labour MP. Well, her partner, David Taylor, was arrested for spying for China. If they're not living, do you know what they were doing in the Commons today? They had a Strictly Come Dancing dance class led by Angela Rippon. to celebrate the humongous fucking pay rise they gave themselves. The US has already announced suspension of all military aid to Ukraine. To Ukraine, Israel comes first. And just be glad we're not forcibly taking back whatever fucking Patriot missiles you've left. Starmer says you're going to help with the anti-drone campaign. Good luck with that. Russia's continuing its march forward. It's soon going to be in position to take the last of the offensive lines and go to the Dnieper everywhere from Donetsk down to Zaporizhia. Then Nikolaev, Odessa will be gone. Thing is, Russia and China are incensed at Donald Trump killing Al Khamenei. People in Russia have been screaming at Putin for a long time. Why don't you just fucking kill Zelensky, put an end to it? Just send some Rezhniks to Bakhlovis free and end this thing. Well, that maybe will or won't happen. Here's a little stuff, yeah? Russia has 63 of the most advanced hunter-killer submarines on the planet. Laura, please stop. Please. If that press fucking conference isn't from Iran, if it's an American press conference, it's a load of shite. Oh, they're sending missiles to Turkey. No, they're not. Oh, Iran wants peace. No, they don't. Iran is refusing to fucking speak to the US. Refusing to have peace talks with the US. That, the blowing up of the Russian LNG tanker is probably the last straw for Putin. Oh, but Slovakia, it is keeping up its promise. Today, it switched off emergency electrical supplies to Ukraine. Well done, Ukraine. Well done, Zelensky. Because you won't open the undamaged Druzhba pipeline, well, now you're fucked. And the pressed gang Slovakians, Russia's handed back. The pressed gang Hungarians, Russia's handing back. By the time this is over, and it ain't going to take long. I know Glenn's the man in black, but Glenn, I hope you don't mind me saying, when the man comes round, and the man's about to start coming fucking round, but not in the biblical sense that they mean. When it is proven that America is a shadow of its former military self. When it's proven that all America has, is a very aged nuclear arsenal. Yes, they tested a Minuteman III today. Why? Because their Minutemen II, they ain't sure even a quarter of them will fucking launch. The success rate of Tomahawk missiles is less than a third. Just by the way. Yemen is just waiting to close the Red Sea. Countries like Indonesia, huge Islamic population, is ready to join the fight. Sudan is ready to join the fight. Then you've got countries like fucking Egypt that will finally, in the latter days, once they know that America and Israel are paper tigers, they'll grow a pair of balls, they'll join the fight. Someone asked Putin, aren't you going to help Iran? Putin said, what help do they need? They suspended the polling market betting on whether a nuclear bomb would be detonated this year. They said that was because of public outcry on such a dark subject. No, it wasn't. It was because the odds were shortening too much too quickly. We're in a black swan economic event. The cost of living is about to make your eyes water. The only way the West, and especially Trump, can start, and it's a long process, it takes years, start to get a military industrial complex pumping out weaponry up and running. It's going to take all of those Optimus robots that Elon's been building. Oh, and full-on AI optimization of the MIC. Welcome to fucking Skynet. May you live in interesting fucking days. Well, there it is, people. Sorry I can't sugarcoat it. Sorry I can't give you good news. Well, I will give you good news. I'm on holiday next week. Fuck everything. And I'm on holiday far enough away from the bang bangs that it should go ahead okay. Wouldn't want to book Cyprus at the moment. Just saying. Seriously, people, things are getting down to the wire. Enjoy your life. Try not to lose sleep over this. Just know that you are going to have to find the warrior poet within you in the coming weeks, possibly months. Glenn will be back on Friday with the Man in Black. Don't miss it. And Glenn worries that not enough people watch it. Not because of his ego, but the information he gives, the granular detail of the subjects he covers, is what you really need to know. And then we'll be back Sunday afternoon, God willing, with the Lone Gunman Rise Again. By which time, I am pretty sure that this world will not look the same as it does this evening from Costa Loch Lomond. Okay, that's me for the night. Early rise tomorrow. So I'm going to say adieu. Look for my Facebook page. That's where I tend to post things that I think are important. If there really is need for an urgent live, I'll do it. But in this, there's too much fog of war for breaking news, and don't trust any news report. Okay. Dismiss. Fuck off. Bye for now. Bye. Stick around for the song though.
We are the last Jacobites, proud and free, will not be bought nor bend the knee. Like Arbroath's cry and freedom's flame, we rise as one and stake our claim. Oh, side by side, through storm and fight, we stand as one in truth and right. From every shore we answer the call, Clan Jacobite, we rise or fall. It matters not our skin or land, but hearts as one and hand in hand. The blood we share is brave and bold, in woven dreams and legends old. Oh, side by side, through storm and fight, we stand as one in truth and right. From every shore we answer the call, Clan Jacobite, we rise or fall. I am you, and you are me, a thread within this tapestry. For hopes of all, for every name, we light the fire, we keep the flame. No sea can part us, nor the land. Together strong, we proudly stand. With courage, truth, and spirits high, we pledge our oath beneath the sky. Oh, side by side, through storm and fight, we stand as one in truth and right.